putting goal. It's not damn. Don't think it's Matt. Right, good evening. Welcome to a daily vlog live. Hope you're having a good evening. Thanks for joining me. If you're joining, we're talking golf technology this evening. This is all inspired by a tweet I put out at the weekend. Hello from Colorado. Hello. Welcome everyone in the chat up here in front of me as well. Yeah, I put a tweet out at the weekend talking about Rory's driver. So we were looking at, there was a picture of Rory's driver, his new TaylorMade driver that he's using. And he had the weight slightly in the back and in the heel. And I posted a comment on social just asking about what you thought about the weight, why it's there, those kind of ideas. And I was getting so many mixed messages. And then also when people put some of the most common answers, which we'll talk about this evening, when I questioned those ideas, people then got either really defensive, which is quite a common thing online, or they were getting a little bit lost with where we were going. So this evening, come here, I've got a whiteboard and a pen. We've got a bit of a spare cam. Okay, so I'm going to do a few drawings just to try and explain. So here's my camera. Hello, so you can see what I'm drawing. Hello, welcome, live up front camera. Just to try and explain some of the contradictions stroke confusion aspects of certain face ideas, weight ideas in golf clubs. And really, like the title of the video says, has golf tech kind of, is it getting lost in itself a little bit or not? Again, you post comments down below and let me know. Educated time, Paul Francis, yes Paul. Nothing can help YGT Rory, indeed. No, marketing has just gone stupid, Tom Pope. Yeah, well possibly. Is it me or has Mark caught the sun? I think it's it's the camera. I need to sort the camera. The reproduction on the camera isn't great. Obviously, these cameras are a little bit harder to control. Right, I'm just going to draw something to kick us off to try and explain, which I'll show you in a second. And we're going to talk about club face and the ideas of club face and what certain face ideas are being advertised to you as helping you do or not. If there's any problems with the sound, post in the comments down below, but I think you're all hearing me loud and clear. Oi, oi, FootJoy, Steve. Yeah, do you like my new FootJoy stuff? I'm loving these shirts and retro-y hats. I think they're great fun. Right, let's get this camera out. Right, here we go. You're with me. Right, so look, I've drawn a face. Now we're looking down, so we're looking down at this face, basically like that. Okay? So we're looking right down at the face with my crude drawing. Let's just get a few understandings of some basic rules for this to work. So we're going to talk about roll and bulge, but this way, so this curve, which I always mix up which way they go, because roll and bulge is on the face, so it's up and down and side to side. But we're talking from this angle, the side to side one, for this evening's video. Now, the reason your club face isn't straight, lots of you probably know this. If I hit the ball out the toe here, the ball's going to start more right because that's where that face is pointing. But because of a thing called gear effect, it's going to curve back, hopefully, to your target. Okay? And vice versa, if I hit the ball out the heel, see the heel is pointing more left here, ball starts left. Thing called gear effect, which is going to curve your ball like a slice back to a target. If you want to search gear effect, I've done videos, there's plenty on there as well online to help you with gear effect. But it's basically tilting the spin axis of the ball, which is giving you fade and draws if you don't hit the middle of the club. Now we call it the middle of the club, but this gear effect actually relates to, say, this point here, which is a fictional, as I draw on here, center of gravity. So a CG. So the center of gravity is what will help this ball gear or not. So which side of the center of gravity you get. So if the center of gravity is lined up with the middle of the club, having a face with curve makes a lot of sense, because if you get it out the middle, that's the straighter pointing part of the club. You line up with the center of gravity, you don't get any curvature, bang, and you get your straight shot. Are you following? He's a lefty. All right, Ralph Harris. Gear effect my twist face. Drivers are getting too pricey, so much similar technology. Can I guess what it is? Yeah. ESS82. Is he drawing a dog? Phil McIver. Brilliant. CG is not that far back, is it? Irrelevant, Luca, for this discussion, but yes, CGs will be pulled back. They'll be back and forward as well, but that's going to be a different discussion. CG off the face, basically, we're talking about here. Hello, everyone. Yes, teacher, we are following Foxy. Brilliant. Okay, so let's carry on with the drawing. Let's go back to drawing cam here. Okay, here we go. Now, so people think about the middle of the face. It's actually this bit here is what's causing this. How the strike relates to the centre of gravity lined up strike. Now we can get really in depth here because if you start getting face to paths at an angle, the centre of gravity actually won't line up through the middle here. It'll go more to the toe and heel as well. But we'll come and do that on another day. So I've got a little curveball for you and I want you to think about this down below in the comments and posts. There's your target. Going to draw another face. It's just hard to do one-handed while holding the cam. There's my face. I'll give you a straight line to give you an idea that there is some curvature there. And I'm now going to put a sliding rail on the back of this club with a movable CG. Think about this. Rory had his weight more in the neck. So this is crude drawings. Obviously it won't move this much, but it'll give you an idea, and then obviously we'll discuss what it means about how much it moves or not. Now that's now on this drawing going to align, face the pass being 0, forget those, we can come back to those on another video. The centre of gravity now to a part of the face that points more left. So if he hits where he says his miss hit is in the heel, which is why some of the people were saying he's putting that in the heel, because his miss hits in the heel, so he gets that lined up with the heel to give you a bit more ball speed, and that makes sense, and we'll come to those ideas in a second. Now, if he hits this club out of the geometric middle, so here, that's going to feel toey for him, and it will be a toe strike in relationship to the centre of gravity, which will now make this ball start straight, and then curve it to the left. How is that helping? If you move the centre of gravity with a changeable weight, which you do, we know how much it's minuscule, but it moves it. And we'll come back to how much in a second before anyone comments on that. We'll tie that up in a second. If you move the centre of gravity with a movable weight, surely you have to move the roll and bulge as well. Do you not? Because it now won't work. If you think about it, if you move that centre of gravity massively, so if you were able to move that centre of gravity so far that it was almost off the club face, the roll and bulge is not, it's now not going to work. It's ineffectual, isn't it? And this is where I get confused. Let's see if you're keeping up. You need 2 different colours, brah. Hello from Switzerland. Hello. But they sell movable weight as fade and jaw correction. Mark Jones. We'll come back. We'll try and do that. And twist my CG. Brian Parks. Would loft affect that? Not really. Looks. I mean, it would, but we're talking about drivers here. It looks like you'd need to go really up in loft for it to be not affecting it, and it's the fact the CG's off the face. But the twist face, brah. Nicholas, yeah. Does Rory like to see draws? PJ Life 365. Yes, he probably does like to see a draw, or even maybe working on a slight cut. But that won't get away from the fact that his roll and bulge won't be as effective now. So in effect, by moving that centre of gravity, surely he's moving the effectiveness of the twist face. My argument here, is you can't have your cake and eat it. You can't have a revolution in an idea of a face with a sliding bar that moves the centre of gravity, which surely then nullifies the revolutionary face. I mean, we can all get confused, and then no one questions this, which is often what happens on places like Twitter, and people just get angry because they obviously don't quite understand the points. But or we can talk about logic. you see what I mean? I'm not sure if any. I mean, I'm not counting. You know, are you counting who's making any, or who's like taking note of all these technologies that seem to just? I mean, we're getting close to contradicting each other now, aren't we? Here we go again. Let's try again. You move the centre of gravity more towards the heel. If he hits out the geometric centre, that's going to feel toe and will be toe, because remember, CG is what's causing gear effect, where you hit in relationship to that CG. So when he doesn't hit his miss hits, surely he's going to be less effective. It's going to be worse. And also think about this. If he hits his toe shot now, with the CG push more in that heel, he is so far away from the centre of gravity, it's actually going to gear crazy amounts, or, as a test I'll show you as we go on into miss hits, it might not gear at all as he moves miles away from it. You can't have a revolutionary face, surely. I mean, I know lots of people don't understand this, but then contradict it with a movable weight. Just comments down below. What? Surely the face would have to move. When I spoke to a certain brand about a certain face that comes out straighter on a club, so it looks straight as I look down to them, I said, why does that straighter? They told me don't need as much roll and bulge because the centre of gravity is so far back from the head, they don't need as much correction in the face. Do you see what... Does it make sense? Is anyone getting this? Not everyone can coach with a removable weight driver like LD Day. You should send me test clubs. A Turo driver will do. Okay, he's worrying that Rory wouldn't understand this. ESSA. Well, it's not worrying because he doesn't need to understand it. He's a doer. And look, big points here to remember. If Rory plays better with his weight in that position because it feels better, then change it, move it. It's not a problem. I'm not saying he's right or wrong, because when it comes to physical people gaming, there's going to be feel in there. He might not be a CG tracker. So, for instance, you move the CG around on a club head for me. I don't actually swing a face as such. I can feel where that CG is. I just find it. I track it within one shot, often two at the most. And lots of golfers, more golfers than you think, do that. Believe it or not, they track the centre of gravity. So as you move it, the strike just tries to find it. And that's the other thing. Rory on day 2, I think, or day 3 on Saturday, kept saying he's hitting everything out of the heel. Well, if you go move the weight in the heel, you're moving your sweet spot in the heel. Now you're still getting heel side of that. Because that's the other thing to remember here. If you move the sweet spot or the centre of gravity of this club into the heel, into the toe, forget geometric middle. Forget hitting the middle of this club. That means nothing. If you go and move it so the centre of gravity is right out here in the toe, you'll hit it here and it'll feel like a centred hit. You'll think it's this part. Don't get confused with the geometric middle. All you're lining when you hit a good shot is the centre of gravity. Now, if you've got a sliding weight, and this is the question I want to pose tonight, which is why has technology got lost in itself? Because I'm struggling to work this one out in my head, even with my fancy drawings. Did you like my drawings? Weren't they clever? Right? Is how can you have a revolutionary face yet have a sliding bar? And the reason you can, in my opinion, and this is just my opinion, is that both make such little effect it actually doesn't matter. So it's more the marketing talking around it than it is actually... Oh, that's a good comment, so it's trying to hide this comment. Let me like this comment, show this comment. Emu Golf there, I think it was Emu Golf. Yeah, you can't have your cake and eat it at the end of the day. That's the thing I'm getting confused with. And obviously I would speak to TaylorMade, but they won't speak to me. So, and other companies. Even Callaway's new driver, they're optimizing the face for off-centered hits with their new Super Computer, which is great. But if I'm more of a fader, I'm going to hit it out of the heel. And if I'm more a drawer, I'm going to hit it out of the toe. And also, I'm going to hit it out of both of those spots because I'm going to fade a few and I'm going to draw a few. And my centre of gravity, my dynamic centre of gravity, because I face the buff, will shift in minuscule ways. Post comments down below. I want to know if this makes sense more than anything else. Does this make sense? Were my drawings any good as well? I want to know that. Craig is saying, from what you've explained, both bits of technology basically counteract each other. Craig, what they both actually do is they don't really make any difference, in my opinion, so it doesn't matter. It just gives a narrative for people to talk about. I mean, to give you a few little stats here, because again, we can talk in myths, and this is connected to a video that I'm doing. I went on the PGA Tour website because I saw some stats flying around from certain groups of players. Rory's driving, 2006, percentage of accuracy, 61%. 2016, 61%. 2017, 54%. 2018, 55%. 2017, 2018, noticeably lower. Anyone who goes on the PGA stats, there's a real noticeable difference in those 3 years as well. So if you can find the other stat and post down below, we'll try and have a conversation about it. Because I don't know why the other stat that might lead into showing why that stat's like that is like it is. Because it's a little crazy that no one wants to talk about. But go on the PGA Tour website if you want to look at those stats. It's great. Because you can see if people are getting better or not. And then you don't get tricked by maybe some of the crazy marketing that we're seeing out there at the moment. There you go. That's all I've got. Some drawings, a centre of gravity. And if you're moving the centre of gravity on the club, can someone explain to me how that face is still working in the same way? Because I am struggling to understand that. Let's finish with a few comments. Can you do a video using quad, trying to measure what difference it does for your swing? Cause, twist your face. Honma is the future. John Marr. Well, there's another interesting stat as well. Reference Honma. I always want to say Honma. Justin Rose. This is an interesting one. Accuracy percentage. 2016, 57%. 2017, 58%. 2018, 66%. Massive jump. Obviously, 2018 is big, massive year, which was great. And let's hope he has another loads to come. One of my favourite players. Classiest guy you'll ever meet. That could be the tech of the club. That's a great advertising narrative for anyone in marketing. Justin Rose, look how he jumped up when that's around twist face came in. His accuracy off the tee massively improved. He obviously doesn't buy into those stats enough for him to stay with that brand, does he? Or any brand. Which again, for me, which is the main point here, we can argue about the face, we can argue about the movable weight. I actually think they're making tiny, if any, differences that are barely measurable apart to your feels, which are important. Enough where a player will have their best year and move away from a certain tech, because obviously they believe in their own skills over anything else. Post comments down below. Quick little live there this evening. A daily vlog live. If you like these, hit the thumbs up button. Let me know in the comments down below. I do love doing the lives. They're just a little bit longer and bulkier. People don't tend to watch them that much on the playbacks. So you do this video as an edited piece and it kind of people just watch it more. But I love doing them because I love reading your comments. They were some funny ones tonight. Thanks all for watching. See you all soon.